Hello everybody and welcome to Books. Before we get into today's video, I want to remind you that this video is sponsored by Dr. Pepper, so like drink it and stuff. In today's video, we will be talking about Unwind by Neal Shusterman, which is one of my favorite books of all time, so let's get into the synopsis. In the Unwind universe, there is a second civil war, and it was fought over the issue of abortion. Eventually, an agreement was reached. Abortion would be made illegal, but in between the ages of 13 or 18 and 18, teenage kids could be unwound, meaning that they are taken apart and all their organs used for medical purposes. Pretty disturbing. Now, there are a couple other books to the Unwind series, and these first two I didn't really like that much, but I'll keep going and see what I find in the future books. The first main character of Unwind is Connor, and he is a 15-year-old who is sentenced to unwinding. However, right before he is to be taken away, he discovers about the fact that his parents signed the unwind order, and escapes a few hours before the juvie cops, or the people generally in charge of unwinding small children, come to take him away. Connor is now on the run in the countryside, but he won't last long. The next character is called Lev, or Levi. He is something called a tithe, and this part I found very unsettling. A tithe is someone, a child born into probably a large, wealthy, religious family, who is born and raised simply to be unwound as soon as they hit 13, or the minimum age for unwinding. However, Lev, like all tithes, is brainwashed, and so he is actually happy to be unwound and calls it his great purpose in life. Lev is driving down a highway with his pastor and his mother and his father. The third and final main character of Unwind is Risa, who was born and raised in a state home orphanage. The state home orphanage has had a budget cut, so they figure, hey, why not let's just unwind some of the children in order to make ends meet. So Risa is on a bus full of people going to be unwound from the state home. She, unlike Lev, is definitely not happy to be unwound, but sees no way of escaping it. However, Connor, about to be apprehended by the juvie cops, runs out into the middle of the highway in front of the car that is driven by Lev's father. Lev brakes, and Connor yanks Lev out of the car and uses him as a human shield so that the juvie cops don't shoot him. The bus is stopped by the commotion on the road and veers off the road, hitting a tree and crashing. Risa escapes, and Connor and Lev escape as well. The three of them are now together. They go to a nearby large high school in order to try and blend in, but Lev ditches them and proceeds to snitch to the juvie cops because he is still basically brainwashed and wants to be unwound, and he thinks that the best thing for Connor and Risa would be for them to be unwound as well. Luckily, Connor and Risa manage to escape by pretending to be terrorists and sneak into a safe home designed to protect AWOL unwinds. They then go through a series of safe homes, all the while being terrorized by a bully named Roland, who, notably, has a shark tattoo on his left arm. They eventually reach the big mastermind safe home, or whatever, called the Graveyard, an abandoned airplane dump. But while going on a trip outside the graveyard, they are apprehended by juvie cops and sent to a harvest camp, a place where kids are unwound. Unbeknownst to them, Levi has also gone to the same harvest camp to be unwound, which is what he wants. Except he is now confused because he kind of enjoys the fact that he has a bit of choice in whether he might not be unwound, as he could have escaped previous to turning himself in. He enjoyed that choice, and, instead of voluntarily being unwound, becomes a clapper, one of the terrorists Connor and Risa were pretending to be. Clappers fill their blood with explosives, so that when they smack their hands together really hard, or clapping, they explode. Right before Levi decides to clap, Roland, the bully from the safe homes that was constantly terrifying Risa and Connor, is taken into the chop shop and unwound. It tells the process of unwinding from Roland's point of view, and it is very disturbing, albeit a little intriguing. Right after that, as soon as Connor is scheduled to be unwound, Lev claps. Connor is severely injured, as well as Risa, but they soon discover it wasn't actually Lev who clapped. It was one of Lev's clapper associates, and Lev is still perfectly intact. Lev is taken away and the explosives are drained out of his blood, but he is not any longer forced to be tithed. Connor is healed with unwound parts, and he actually winds up with Roland's arm, which was unwound just a few minutes earlier, signifying that Roland and the rest of Connor's past will forever be a permanent part of Connor's life. The book ends. I'm going to go into detail on some of those sequels in a future video, but we've pretty much ran out of time today. Make sure to drink Dr. Pepper.